Hey everybody, Ms. Cora and I are going to be filming our yellow and orange belt requirements for our youth and teen MMA program. We're going to start off with the grappling, and we're going to go over our throw for this cycle, which is called Osoto Atoshi. Osoto means major outside in Japanese, so I'm just going to have Cora stand with her feet square, okay? So we want to attack, if they're square, we can attack either side, or we attack the forward foot, okay? But just here, the outside we're talking about is right here, okay? So, same thing here. Now, when we start grappling, there are barriers, and we have to get past them. And one thing we do a lot when we sweep is we will push somebody's elbow in like this, right? We do this on our butterfly sweeps, our scissor sweeps. So what we're going to do is we're going to start just like this. We're going to kind of be in a grappling position. I'm going to step. Okay, and I call this the club, right? I go here on her head and I push in, that's the off balance, and I step in for the Osoto, getting around that elbow, okay? Now how we're gonna do this in class is she has a foot forward, right? Here we're both standing technically in a southpaw stance, that's fine. We could both also stand in the orthodox stance. This is typically an offside technique, right? We usually in judo do it on this side, okay? So we attack what foot is forward is what we're going to remember is the student, okay? So Miss Cora, we're both in the orthodox stance. I'm going to step in. I'm going to club her here. I step with my outside foot. Now this foot comes up, and the Otoshi is here. All right? You want to be getting down. What happens, guys, is a lot of times when you throw somebody and they're turned away from you, they're taught to hip in to escape. And when they do that, you get some flat and side mount. Okay? Now turn back on your side, Miss Cora. When I come down, I put my hand here. That way that kind of stops her from going to the turtle position, right? Try and go that way. See, her hips run into my elbow. It's a wedge. So that's how we can follow up with side control. So, Miss Cora, let's go ahead and do this side, right? This is how we typically do this in judo. Again, this is the on side for this technique, but this is a southpaw stance. So we're doing MMA, striking. This might feel a little awkward for some of us, but we need to remember, attack what foot is forward, right? And we can do that from a stance, or we can do that from square, okay? So here, look how that becomes my wedge. I go under her head. When she turns to get back, I've got her flat. Okay? Let me say one more thing about the leg. Put that foot forward. Okay, even if I just have my toe on the mat, my big toe, the motion I'm doing with my leg is like a kickstart, like that, okay? So when I come in here, that's the motion we're looking for with our leg, like that. Okay, that's the Atoshi motion that we're looking for. Lots of ways we could use our leg to finish that technique, but that's the one that we are working on for this cycle. Okay, so that's Osoto Atoshi. Be sure you work on those details.
Hey guys, so I'm going to be showing our standing guard break and pass for our yellow and orange belts this cycle. We're going to start with a 2-on-1 grip, so taking our two hands, placing it on their arm, and we're going to push that into their stomach, okay? When I do that, I want to make sure that I have really good posture here. We always are going to kind of just focus on this side of the body when we're doing this kind of pass. So I've got this pushed down, and to kind of help me remember, I'm always going to put my foot on the mat on the same side that I have his arm trapped, okay? So if I put this foot up, he can actually hook under, he can attack this leg, it's not gonna be a good time for me. So I'm pushing this in, good posture, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring this leg up, just like this, keeping my good posture. Now, what I tell my kids is this grip right here, this cross grip, is the most important grip. This one, you know, it helps me kind of push myself up, but here in a second, I'm actually gonna let this go. Now, this is a really important detail. When I go to stand up, I need to make sure that I do not lose my posture and lean down, because if that happens, this move won't work, I won't be able to stand up, okay? So I'm gonna dig my back toes into the mat. So we have something called live toes and dead toes. Right now I have live toes. This is dead toes. You're not gonna be able to stand up with dead toes. So digging my live toes into the mat, and I'm gonna drive up just like this. Now, I've kind of got a good strong front stance here. I want to make sure that my feet are not side by side. I don't want to end up here. I always want one foot in the back, okay? Now, this is where I can let go of this hand. A lot of kids, they kind of stay down here, and I tell them, pull their arm up just like this so you can have good posture. Sometimes people's legs open, sometimes they don't. So if it doesn't open, I'm just going to push the knee. Right here, I'm going to drive my hips forward, and I'm going to push that leg across, and I'm going to end up in this leg lace position here, or I can just move this around. He goes to turn into me, and I've got a nice side control. So one more time, 2-on-1, trapping his arm to his belly, good posture, put this foot up, dig my toes into the mat, drive up. I'm letting go here, got one foot back. I'm gonna shake that knee just a little bit, and I'm gonna drive with my hips, pushing forward, sliding down in. I can keep this, great for jiu-jitsu, or I can just go to side control, which is what we're gonna expect for the kids right here. So that is our standing guard break and pass for our yellow and orange belts. Hey guys, so I'm going to be showing a double ankle sweep. This is for our yellow and orange belts, and this actually goes great with our standing guard break and pass that's in our previous video. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have Mr. Brian show this off of the standing guard break and pass we just did, but he's actually going to make a mistake. So he's gonna get his 2-on-1, he's gonna put his foot up on the same side, he's gonna dig his toes into the mat, and he's gonna stand up. When he does that, he's gonna make the mistake of putting both of his feet side by side, okay? So when he does that, I'm gonna strip this grip, I'm gonna grab his ankles, I'm gonna drop my bottom to the floor, and I'm just gonna push my hips forward. Now here, this is really, really important because we don't wanna lose this position. I'm going to take one arm, I'm gonna put my hand on the mat, and I'm going to do a really big snaky move forward, or almost like a sit-up sweep motion here. I'm gonna pull my hips forward, dropping this knee to the mat. From here, I'm gonna walk my hands around for a good, nice, tight, full mount, okay? So really basic sweep. One more time, Mr. Ryan. But you know, so people are gonna make mistakes, and they are going to do this break and pass, and I see it every cycle. Kids are gonna square up their feet. So when someone makes a mistake, we have to punish them for that by getting this sweep. But to make this just kind of flow faster, and sometimes when we're drilling in class, we're just trying to get to this main position. For the sake of the drill, I'm gonna have Mr. Ryan put his hands in my biceps and just kind of pull himself forward, boom, to a squared base. Now here, grabbing his ankles, I'm gonna drop my bottom to the floor, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of push my hips forward, right there. This is perfect. He fell to a side. This is gonna make it easier for me to just do my snaky move forward, dropping this knee down, walking my base around right here, okay? So the sweep comes off the pass that we're learning. They go hand in hand really well. Grabbing the ankles, dropping the bottom to the floor, hipping up, and coming up to full mount.
Hey everybody, we're going to go over a flow drill that we're doing with our youth and teen MMA classes this cycle. And a flow drill means that I'm going to do a set of moves, and then Miss Cora is going to do an escape or a reversal of some kind, and she gets to do the same set of moves. Okay? So we're going to go back and forth, and this is a variation of flow drill number 1. Okay? But we're going to work a little different guard pass, and we're going to go over some special details on timing. Okay? So I'm in Miss Cora's guard, and we're going to be doing the knee in the center guard break. Some special details on that. Got to have good posture. The tops of my feet are in the mat. I go wide. Okay? Now here's what a lot of people do. They accidentally lean forward when they go to the center. I raise my base up a little bit, so I don't do that. Okay? So we don't want to lean forward at any time during this. When I came back down, her guard is open. Right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this knee up in the center. This is what we call the combat base. Right? Now from here, I'm going to shoot my slider pass, knee slide, cutter pass. There's lots of names for it. We've always called it a slider pass or a knee slide. Okay, so I'm passing here. I get the underhook and the overhook. We were talking about the over-under position for Soto Otoshi earlier. Right? So I'm going to slide through here to the Kessa position. With this Kessa, I have an underhook. Sometimes you have around their head. Right? This is the underhook so they don't take our back when we're passing. Now, from here, this arm is gonna go to the mat over here. That's a good side control. All right, now from here, I'm sitting through, I'm gonna pull her legs to me, step over. Now, Miss Cora's already prepared. I'm starting to pull my arm out, she's got me, and she bridges and rolls. Now it's her turn. Go wide, narrow wide, boom, she opens the guard combat base. Kessa, she goes side mount, then we call this next spot reverse Kessa, right? And I already know, I'm thinking, okay, she's got her arm in there. I could even do this earlier, right? But you're allowing her to establish mount, and this foot is trapped. Now, what I always tell my students when I teach the bridge and roll is, I'm gonna move my head out of the way by doing an oblique crunch. It's your side abs, right? Here. I made my head go this way, and that makes it to where she can't really post to get out. Okay, and then we repeat the cycle again. Break, here, Kessa, side mount, reverse Kessa. She's got me trapped. Good, very good angle on the bridge and roll. Okay, so that's one of our flow drills. We're doing a couple of variations of this, adding in submissions for the higher ranks. So be sure you get all your details down correctly, because you'll be doing this and adding things to it on down the road. All right, thanks.